How we feeling? How we feeling? I'm Morgan. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. So this is our first show in the South on this tour, so I'm happy to be back. I'm going to start a song that this beautiful station has just added, which is a song called Home. You had your bed made, had all these precious memories. You had to run away. You were looking for that bigger stage. But for all those blinding lights, there's something I won't find. I'm going back home to the place where I belong. There's nothing like it. Take me back home where the blood runs through my soul. I can't describe it. There's nothing like it. Sing this with me. You've done that vagabond. You swam across the devil's pond, left the comfort of your family to live out all your fantasies. But for all those stars that shine, there's a different kind of light. 1, 2. I'm going back home to the place where I belong. There's nothing like it. Take me back home where the blood runs through my soul. I can't describe it. There's nothing like it. I'm going back home to the place where I belong. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. Take me back home where the blood runs through my soul. I can't describe it. There's nothing like it. Take me back home to the place where I belong. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Take me back home where the blood runs through my soul. I can't describe it. There's nothing like it. One more.
Morgxn here for an Alt 1057-404 session. I'm so excited to see you, and this dreary weather giving us a little bit of sunshine. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about that track that you put together with Walk the Moon. How did that whole relationship spark?
Okay, so the journey of Nicholas and I, Nicholas from Walk the Moon, is that, well, first of all, I had written the words Walk the Moon on a vision board, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, and I didn't know anyone. Yeah, I believe in dreams, sorry.
That's what it's all about, right?
There's actually a picture. I'm like sitting in a chair in front of this. I had this like chalkboard in my room, and I had written a bunch of things, and one of them was Walk the Moon beside me. Anyways, so that happened, and that's how it happened. End of story. No.
Manifestation and done.
Yeah. When I started, like, I don't know, I was in the studio for a very long time just making music. Like, you know, I'm from Nashville, and there was like a part of me that was like, oh, I want to make music, but what I wanted to do, it was sort of like, they kind of looked at me in Nashville, and it was like I was such an outsider in the sort of Nashville thing. So I kind of moved to LA and was in the studio making this music, and somewhere along the way, a friend of mine connected me with Nicholas's manager, and she was like, "You and Nick need to meet." And we met and we made music, and it was this like very a very special bond. And I'm gonna just fast forward the journey because I put out my album this last summer, and Nick would hear Home in places on tour, and he started sending me videos of him singing along to Home, and it was like, this is insane. You know, he was kind of like a part of the inspiration for, I don't know, he's just such an icon, you know, to me.
He really is.
We were working on another song called Blue, which I just put out, and that was the same week as Lollapalooza. And I was like, well, we can't do this song because it's not out, but why don't you come on stage and sing Home with me? Since I've literally heard you sing it 9,000 times, let's do it in front of people. So this is like, what's so special about it is that we showed up at Lollapalooza and we're both wearing like all white, and we didn't plan that at all. We just like showed up like two little beacons, you know? And everyone's like, y'all are so great, like look at how coordinated you are. And we're like, no, this is just happening, you know?
It's
and
like
it was
vision
that,
board
it was
kicking
that,
in.
it was that kind of magic. And you know, so we did it live, and it was like, we need to record this. We hopped in the studio that week and did the new version.
Okay, so you guys obviously have got a history together. Will there continue to be more collaborations? Would you like to continue to work together?
You know, my idea of a perfect collaboration is like Nick, where the only thing that's driving it is that it's natural. You know, like it was not handed to us, and it wasn't like a forced thing. I'm sure we will continue to work together, but there's also like, there's other things that are happening that I can't say that are just like sort of naturally coming through the universe right now.
Oh, so coy. Okay, all right. Because I noticed you also did a track with Naked and Famous, right?
Yes.
Are there other artists that you would just and not digging here, but other artists that you would like to collaborate with, because you seem to be very inspired by working with others?
Yeah, I'd love to do something with Bishop Briggs. I think she's awesome. I think our voices would be very, very silky together. I love 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
They don't do a lot of collaborations, and I like let that queer guy in the mix, you know what I mean?
But you know what? They don't do a lot of collaborations, but wouldn't that be the time to start,
Yeah,
right?
so hey,
Just put it out there.
yeah, just talking to my friends.
All right, well, cool. And the other thing that I wanted to ask you about, just simply in listening to your music, the cover of Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything from Robert Smith?
Well, first of all, I don't even know how to like. It's crazy to me that this is the case, but the only reason that it got to be on the album is because Robert Smith himself approved my cover.
That's massive. That's all that needs to be said. It's Robert Smith.
I could honestly do I could talk forever about this album and this journey, but with Boys Don't Cry, it was specifically, I lost my dad very suddenly, and when I looked at that song, it just had a whole new meaning to me, and that version that you hear on the record, I sang that once in the studio, and that's what happened. And you know, it wasn't ever a plan to record it. It was just I was already in the studio, and I pulled up the lyrics, and it was and I cried because it just hit me in that way. And I did this version, but then we ran into the issue that that's a hard song to clear, to do. Right. So I started doing it live in shows, and then when it got to the point where it was the album is happening, I was to me, I can't imagine closing the album any other way than Boys Don't Cry. And so I wrote Robert Smith a letter and told him you know, I would never touch another person's song unless I felt like I could say something else inside of it, you know? and I told him about my dad, and I was just completely vulnerable and honest. And we sent it along to his team, and then his publisher replied, "Robert approves, which is rare."
That was the whole email, wasn't it? you're like, okay, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Wow. And I will say, in listening to that, like, God knows I've listened to that song enough. It's a beautiful song. It's perfection. But when I heard your version, and I'm not saying it because it's you, I mean, it really did change the context of the song. And it's amazing how that can happen. The words are the same, but the emotion completely changed the song, and it came from a totally different direction, which honestly says something for the artist, you know. Well, look, let me let you do your thing, and we'll talk a little more after this. Cool.
Great.
Morgxn here for an Alt 1057 404 session.
Okay, well, this is rock and roll here. We'll just see what happens. And the Radiohead song "High and Dry" like popped into my head, and I just, you know, I'm following a muse here, and I'm gonna do Radiohead "High and Dry." Two jumps in a week, I bet you think that's pretty clever, don't you, boy? Flying on your motorcycle, watching all the town beneath you drive. Kill yourself for recognition, kill yourself to never ever stop. You broke another mirror, you're turning into something you are not. Don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. Don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. Drying up in conversation, you will be the one who cannot talk. All your insides fall to pieces, and you'll just sit there wishing you could still make love. They're the ones who'll hate you when you think you've got the world all sussed out. They're the ones who'll spit at you, and you'll be the one screaming out. Don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. Don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. It's the best thing that you ever had, the best thing that you ever had. It's the best thing that you ever had. The best thing that you had has gone away. Don't leave me high, don't leave me dry, don't leave me high, don't leave me dry. Don't leave me high. the best thing that you ever had. The best thing that you had has gone away.
As a Radiohead elitist, bless your heart.
Wow.
This is amazing, amazing. Tonight at the Masquerade, by the way, with Robert Geelong, I wanted to ask you, is there a difference between Morgxn with an A and Morgxn with an X?
What a beautiful question. You know, Morgxn with an X is the journey I have taken as an artist and as a human being. And the reason the X exists there is to represent like my own personal change and growth as a human and everything that I've been through. But to me, they're interconnected. They are. It's not. I didn't want to put on a persona to do music. You know, it just felt like. Morgxn with an X said more about the message than my full name did for the music.
That totally makes sense to me. That absolutely makes sense to me. Now, you've crossed a lot of genres. I mean, you've done like gospel and theater and now radio, contemporary music. What do you see projecting in the future? How do you take those genres, put that forward? Where do you still want to go with this?
To me, genre is sort of, is not ever something I put on to what I do. I think to be embraced at alternative radio is, alternative to me, sorry, is a little bit of the outsiders, is like the sort of passionate, there still seems to be so much passion in alternative music.
Yeah.
And that's who I am, you know, sorry.
I was gonna say, you want to grab that?
Where I see it going, I wish you could hear the record I'm working on.
We will. We will. Do you have like a time that you want to see this happen?
The album?
This upcoming stuff that you're writing right now?
Oh, it's gonna happen sooner than you think.
Oh.
Okay. So maybe tonight something cool to Masquerade.
You might hear some new stuff at the Masquerade tonight.
Oh, boom. Okay, great. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to leave it on that, and I want you guys to catch up with Morgxn outside. Thank you so much for coming in for this 404 session. We appreciate you guys,
Thank you.
and we would love to have you back, and hopefully by then you feel good, and
Yeah.
you'll be on your game.
Yeah.
Let's hear it from Morgxn. Thanks so much for coming out for an 1057 404 session.